Welcome back to Women Leading AI. As a part of our conversation with Krystal Johnson, we talked about why compliance is far more strategic than most people realize, and why this AI era represents a much bigger infrastructure shift than many people are prepared for. In this episode, we're moving from vision into marketplace. What does compliance actually look like on the ground? What is Sentrix Pro solving, and where are businesses exposed without even realizing it? Krystal, I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So in thinking about most industries, film, music, real estate, cap you unless you own the studio. Okay, and the catalog that you're building. So why is AI different?
AI is different because, again, like you just said it in that question, you do have control over anything that you build. So now you're able to be an architect of something of your own without having to go get any land and break ground and have to have the capital and the budget to build something that's, out of your control. You don't have to have investors behind you. And so for women, especially, it's a space, and I know we're going to talk about that, but it's definitely a space where you get to own everything that you're building, and you can build it from the comfort of your home. So what I love about it is it's open to the business women who are already founding something. They already have tapped into ownership. But what about the stay-home moms? What about people who don't have the degree? What about those that just said, you know what, I work for a company, but I just want to work for myself now? This is an even playing field for everyone to use those free tools that we spoke about before, and to start from the ground floor and build something that they actually own.
That's so good, because that was going to be my next question, is like, where does ownership actually lie when it comes to AI? Because I know for me in the film world, that's some of the questions that's come up. Like, if I'm writing a script, do I own that script? Can I copyright this book because AI was used to help me do it? And so that's the question I pose, to you, just from your thoughts, from your opinion. Where does that lie? And if we don't know the answer to that, where can we find out?
Well, the software that I've built, Sentrix or Sentrix Pro, either one, and we'll talk about the difference in a few minutes, but you can easily go to your compliance tool and ask those questions to find out if I'm doing something right. I'm not, using my tools where it will come back on that if I really own this or not. And then it will help you frame it the correct way. It's all about the framework writing and all of the information that's plugged. We're not dealing with really algorithms here. It's just like you want to be able to put whether it's a prompt in, to talk about prompts where you put information in and you get something out of it. But then you're saying, well, how can I own this? Because AI gave this to me. This is not mine. But now that's when you, as an AI consultant, you have learned in your own space how to reframe that, restructure that, ask the questions, and tell your story in it for it to give you what you put into it. So now that is yours and you do own it.
That is so good. That is so good. I noticed, and I think we're both authors, in your latest book. What's the name of your latest
Still
book?
Human, Using the Soul in the Age of AI. And so once I frameworked it, once I developed the concept, did the outlines, and began to write about it, I put it in Claude. And I said, Claude, please tell me if this can be a #1 bestseller. And it said yes, but can I make some adjustments? And so I was like, okay. And so Claude made adjustments, and then when I put it in Grammarly to check, and I did the AI check, and it did show me that it was 20% AI. And that how I could do that was put it in my own words, which I did. So that was very helpful.
Right.
And I think that kind of answers that question, do you own it? And that's one of the things that I teach people, especially when it comes to how to use this tool as an AI assistant. to write your book, to tell your story, to whether it be on a stage or it be on a screen. The same thing. It can be the bones that we get to layer.
Absolutely.
It is our information, it's our intellectual properties that's being put in a tool that can then help us. So what you're telling me, though, is that the next step, to take that next step, run it through Sentrix or Sentrix Pro, and we'll be able to get what will we be able to get?
Any industry that you're in. So if you're writing for film, or if you're writing a book, because people write for different industries or different reasons. So Sentrix or Sentrix Pro can actually answer those questions and actually walk you through the checks. It will also teach you about other tools to use to help you shape and reframe those things, the things that you may not even realize. And it also talk about laws and different protection policies that you're gonna need to back you. Where you were talking about when you were writing and how you would get down to, it's telling you 20%. Do you know how many people have written stories way before AI and then they went and sent their story over to who?
Yeah.
They sent it to someone to actually rewrite or reshape, ghostwriters, right? And so that is the same thing. You've just replaced that human person and you're now using the tools to do the same thing.
That's good.
Wow, that's so good. That is good.
I did notice the last book that I wrote when I got ready to upload it to KDP to Amazon for it to sell. It literally asks now how much of it was utilized. Did you make graphic, like a lot of changes, and did you edit the, like, what did you use it for? Translations? Did you use it for the images? And so you're giving that information now. It's a requirement to get your book through the process, to be transparent, which I know is one of the compliance things that's coming down now, is to make sure that transparency is there. So from that perspective, how could Sentrix or Sentrix Pro help us with that?
Well, before you even answer that, what is the goal of Sentrix Pro? Because you told us about Sentrix. What is the goal of Sentrix Pro?
That's good.
That's a good question. So I never mentioned it. Sentrix is a GPT agent. It started out just being a GPT agent built with OpenAI. However, it is wired with all of the framework writing, and everything in it was built with codes. So anyone using Sentrix, it is a community, because we wanted to make sure there was verification layers, that anybody that's using this link is not just a regular GPT link. It is a link with verification and role-based access codes. So what that all it means is that if you are now utilizing the tool, you have to say your first and last name and your verification code in order for Sentrix to respond to you. And so it will respond in a way where you can build something with the tool. So now whatever you use Sentrix to build belongs to you. And so whether you're building it for yourself or you're building it for a client, whatever you and Sentrix build is now yours. Okay. So, and now you're building it for the client. So now something that you own, you've built, you've architected something. So now that. But now Sentrix Pro is a software. Okay. And this is for those same consultants or anyone that stepped into this space, because it's not just for consultants, it's anybody that wants to build AI compliance. It allows you to have, you have 70 industries listed in there. We've reached this week over 1,300 frameworks for 70 industries, and we're now in 14 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I'm just saying. That's impressive. That's impressive. See, there is no limit to what you can do when you submit your hands, your plans, and your time to the Lord. He will give you everything that you need. You can make your plans, but He orders your steps.
Yes.
Girl, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, now go back to the question that Taffiney asked you.
Do you remember? I don't even remember.
Repeat the question, because we don't went somewhere.
We've been all the way over here. Now you asking us to come back over here in the right lane.
Took us somewhere.
What I do want to really look at, what made you go taking it from the Sentrix as having it just as a GPT, because that was working well.
Yeah.
What made you go and create the whole software?
It wasn't me. I cannot take the credit, and I will not. honestly, it wasn't me. I was on a trip in the Bahamas with my husband, and I was literally doing something that was just, I was being an aunt. I was in my mode of just walking my niece around the mall, and God spoke to me and said, build Sentrix outside of OpenAI. And when the thought came to me, I was like, this is not even the time. Is this my thoughts or is God? It's like, And so I'm still walking, and the thought came again, really heavy. I ignored it because I didn't know what that, I don't even know how.
Right.
I get home that following week, and being a mom, washing baby bottles, and the thought hit me again, build Sentrix, and it was so loud. Build Sentrix outside of OpenAI. Now, the weekend that came about, the same woman I spoke about last episode with 20 some years of cybersecurity, 20 plus years of cybersecurity background, I built Sentrix Pro and I rolled it out that week. She told me that the week that I built this was perfect timing because OpenAI had been doing some weird things. And it wasn't just Sentrix. She said anywhere I would, in ChatGPT today, I was using it and it would give me outputs of things that was just weird wiring. She was almost scary. And so a few other people had that same issue, but unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know this was happening because I was out of town. I was out of the country. So when the thought came to me, which was God. This was happening to people in the Sentrix community using OpenAI, and that was the only place Sentrix was, living in that time. It was just a GPT agent. So can you imagine that was probably scary for some people? Like, do I trust this? And so it's technology and things that's out of our control. So I was like, well, wow. So that was God telling me that I needed to build something. So what I built was a proprietary software of my own that I could now, and I gave it away. I didn't even charge the community with that. I said, this is a gift to everybody that has already invested in Sentrix. I want to give you guys something else. This is your database. This is your software. Now it even powers you more when you're sitting in those meetings with the financial advisor, with an attorney, with the doctor, or any professional that you're sitting with. You get to sit with them and now design the framework for their agent that Sentrix Pro. So Pro is, I just look at it like it's the professional version of Sentrix.
It sounds good.
Oh my goodness.
But Pro, like my husband actually named it. He said, babe, you need to call that Sentrix Pro. It's the CRM, it's the upper, echelon of Sentrix. And it's definitely more organized. You have all of the frameworks listed there in your face versus you wondering the industries that it will support. They're all listed there. And in layman's terms, you just click on it and it drops down all of the frameworks, which is all of the laws and regulations for that particular industry. And where it gets even more interesting is when you go to hit Build Agent. I can put in your company, I can put in your industry, and then I put in your state, because now we're dealing with the jurisdiction and the laws within that state, because laws change from state to state. No matter if you're real estate here or you're real estate there, some things are going to be different. So Sentrix Pro, that professional software, is now going to design that agent a little bit more customizable, but you can actually bring over files that the company owner may have for their company, but you can also bring over files that you've built over with Sentrix in OpenAI. So you can bring, and we're not limited. OpenAI, when you're configuring the agent, this is just facts. But when you're configuring an agent in OpenAI, it only allows you to upload so many files, 20 at the max, right? But with Sentrix Pro, it's unlimited. It's unlimited. So as many files as you need to support your company, the industry, and the framework, you're not bottlenecked.
Yeah, that's so good. I remember going in and looking at it for the first time, and I just sat there in my chair like,
What is it?
you know how you just are lost for words? Like, what? Wait a minute, are you serious? And going to an industry, you know, especially like film, for example, and I keep going back to film, there are so many things that people don't think about, especially now since we're implementing AI, you know. But even with insurance, because that was one of the other areas, looking at just all of the different laws and the fact that you can push a button and it updated. I seriously just sat there like,
You don't have, it takes the thinking out of it a little bit. Like it's like it puts everything in front of you.
It does. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I mean, I just really, you know, sometimes when you see something that you know God had to be a part of it. Like,
absolutely,
I mean,
100%.
as smart as we are,
we can't take all the credit.
you know, we did have to say yes.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you've created something that is so distinct. It just shifts the entire conversation from like consumption, like actually consuming things, to actually being in control and producing something that can not just help you, but help other people.
Else.
So how does a person go about getting involved in the Sentrix world or whatever? Like, what does that look like?
Well, if they hear about it and know about it through another AI consultant or a compliance architect, because that is who we have in our communities. You will hear from people that we have our Wednesday night open calls, Sentrix open calls, but you would probably have to hear about it from someone right now at this point. But when they do, they can actually show you, you know, how to get on the calls and hear more information. I love our open calls because it's open to the public. It's open to anybody that just want to listen and say, you know what, I want to listen to figure out if I want to get back with Dr. Taffiney Williams to see if she could build something for my business, but maybe I'm skeptical first, and let me just see how it's worked for someone else. So the open call, we always showcase compliance architects in our community, and they showcase the agents of different types of industry from every other week. And that's beautiful because not only are they showcasing, but it builds confidence in other compliance architects to say, oh, it brings up ideas and things. So it's a really beautiful community that I love. And then that other person is on there that says, this might be a lane that I want to step in and I can create a career from this. So I always tell people at the end of those calls, those Zoom calls, to get back with the person who invited you, because it is invitation at this point right now. But you know, it's good that people can step into a place and not feel lost, because the community is really what powers Sentrix Pro. It's not just the software, it's the people. We have a beautiful community of not just people that's in cybersecurity, fraud examiners. We have people that own businesses, multiple businesses. We have stay-home moms. We have people that just never had a degree, never thought about going to college. It's just everyday men and women from different backgrounds, all using the same tool, and everybody knows someone that owns a business, and they are now designing an agent to help that person.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Can I take a little side trail? You are a woman who is truly leading AI.
Thank you.
You are a woman who is hearing the voice of God, discerning, using wisdom, receiving revelation. As a Christian woman in the field of AI, what does that truly mean to you?
I asked God early 2024. I actually closed down a few of my companies and sold a few. I asked God, I said, listen to me, please. Hear my voice, hear my cry. This next phase of my life, I really want to do everything for the kingdom of God. And I don't want to, I've had success for my husband and my family. I don't want anything else. The only thing I want is you. And the only thing I want to do is to be able to spread your word. I promise you, whatever you have in this next season for me, and I wasn't an AI consultant yet, whatever you have in this next season of my life, I want no parts of it unless I can speak about the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And I told God, I said, whatever it is that you have for me is for me, but it'll be a platform that I own and no one can shut your word down.
Ooh, come on now. So you surrendered.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And surrender is very important. I think there is a lot of Christian women. I'm talking to a lot of Christian women who have different ideas about AI. And I encourage them to use different tools. I normally start with ChatGPT, and they do. But in talking to Christian women, what is the kind of conversations that you are having to encourage them?
Well, let's go back to my mom. My mom brought me up in faith. I was raised in the church, and she's definitely that person in my family that I never can have a conversation without a scripture or something from, my past, And so when we were talking about AI, she's one of those individuals a little scared of it. And I messed with her and I joked about it, and then aha moment, I could see it in her face. And she said, I'm not using all that stuff. And I said, until you need to go through TSA and they scan your face.
Right.
I said, because you don't like long lines.
Right.
But
Go to
convenience. But you're going to clear, and it's face recognition. That's AI.
AI.
I said, you're okay with them putting their fingerprints in so you can go to another country to see your grandbaby, right? What you think that fingerprint is? That's AI. Because everything, you went and gave the government your information so you could get through the airport line faster because it was convenience. I am going to put some information in so I can get to my results faster so my team can work quicker. For what? Convenience.
That's so good. That's
Siri,
so good.
Alexa,
Yeah.
GPS.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, dude, you thumbprinting that device you using. And she looked at me, and the conversation was done.
Yeah.
Because it was just, she, and I know when I have those conversations with my family and my mom, when there's no more to talk about, it's just,
It's done.
Go and get out of this room. Leave me alone.
Then you know. I absolutely love that, because I don't think that people realize how long we've actually been using
it.
artificial intelligence. I was literally asking someone, do you know how to read an atlas? Do you know how to read a map? Like, can you map out your directions based on your coordinates? Like, can you do that? And most people cannot.
How do you think the GPS, like the car, me and my husband was driving around in Napa, California, and I just looked at him, and I don't even know why this question came to my head, but I said to him, it's funny how this GPS is showing our car exactly where we are as if we're in a dome.
Exactly.
And he looked at me like,
exactly.
that question. And it's like we're using tools because of the convenience.
Correct.
We've been using AI for so long. AI did not come out in 2021.
No.
Absolutely not. They've been taking pictures and uploading checks.
Right.
For a very long time. Like, they went to that digital depositing at your bank accounts a while ago.
And you were okay with it because of?
Convenience.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's a whole nother topic.
It sure is. Convenience is real. That's a real thing, especially for moms. I remember seeing something you had, was it Umi that you built? Can you tell us a little bit about Umi?
I didn't know we were going to talk about
I
it.
know. I hadn't planned on talking about Umi, but when you said something about convenience and moms, I'm like, we got to talk about Umi.
So I'm actually building the software out for that currently. I never spoke about it, but
Wow.
I put it on hold because I've been helping so many people in the Sentrix community right now. But Sentrix, so that started off as a GPT agent, and so did Umi. But Umi is your Rosie from the Jetsons. Because I am a mother that have children that come home and I'm trying to get lunch boxes unpacked and, Mom, let me tell you about my day. Mom, can you read this? Mom, can you help me with this? All the questions, or Mom, let me tell you about something that really happened to me and can you give me your perspective? And I want to be there for everybody at every second. But sometimes I just want to say, listen, here's your device time, because they have designated times. I want you, before we talk the question, Umi is built to actually think from biblical principles. Umi does not answer questions unless it's coming from scripture. So when my son gives his story or what happened to him in the classroom and say, Umi, what do I do? Umi answers with the story from the Bible of the same situation and why he should respond to that child, that threat, that bully, in a way that was from what God would want you to do. But Umi can also help me, because I'm using Umi at the kitchen counter while he's using Umi across the room. So Umi is in different parts of my house at the moment because Krystal is in the living room with Umi and working through some math problems. I'm using Umi for the lunchbox preps, and Aiden is using Umi for that scenario that happened at school. So now I'm also working to get Umi into being a full robot. So Umi can help me with lunchbox preps, but also be vacuuming the floor in the next room, folding up some laundry in the laundry room. So that's where things can go. And it all started with an idea, a vision that God gave you. But it really started with, what are your frustrations? And what can you build to help yourself can also be a problem solver for someone else's kitchen or someone else's household.
Pain points.
Pain points.
Yeah, it goes back to those pain points that you talked about earlier. You know, there again, I'm at that space where, like, we could go on for the next 45 hours. Did I say 45 the last time? Was it 45 or 47 I said last time? I don't remember what I said last time, but at any rate, we could go on forever with this conversation. I'm so super excited that you're here. I'm honored to have you in the building.
Such an honor.
And there's so much wisdom and knowledge in what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're truly being an asset to the kingdom, 100%. And I am looking forward to our third episode. We actually have a third episode where we're going to get a chance to talk to her and just pick her brain just a little bit more. A little bit more. So until the next episode, we are Women Leading AI.